Some places feel less like a destination and more like a work of art. Switzerland is one of them, a canvas of snow-dusted peaks where the morning mist lifts to reveal a quiet ripple of a lake that reflects entire villages like a mirror of time. This is a land where beauty feels eternal, where every valley holds a story and every mountain feels like a guardian of memory. In this journey, we'll take you through one of the most enchanting places in Switzerland, from lakeside treasures to hidden alpine retreats, each one carrying a stillness that lingers in the heart. If these echoes of Switzerland speak to you, please like this video and subscribe. Your gentle journey begins now. 1. Zermatt. Zermatt spreads like a Swiss fairy tale, made real, a car-free village where horse-drawn carriages clip-clop past centuries-old chalets. In Zermatt, the Matterhorn commands. Rising 478 meters like a stone cathedral spire, this pyramid of granite and snow has humbled climbers and captured hearts since the dawn of mountaineering. The absence of engines creates something rare in our noisy world, true alpine silence. Here, your footsteps echo on cobblestone streets, lined with luxury boutiques selling everything from Rolex watches to traditional raclette. The sound of bells on grazing sheep and the crisp alpine air that seems to clear the mind. One of the most unforgettable journeys begins with the Gornergrat Railway. At 300 meters, the panorama unfolds like a geography lesson written by gods, 29 peaks, over 4,000 meters, stretching endlessly across Switzerland and Italy. Slowly, the little red train climbs higher and higher past meadows, lakes, and glaciers until the Matterhorn appears in its full glory. On still mornings, its reflection rests perfectly on mountain lakes like a dream caught in glass. But Zermatt's true magic lies in its seasons. Winter transforms it into Europe's highest ski paradise, where you can carve powder at 383 meters on the Matterhorn Glacier Paradise, the only place on Earth where you can ski 365 days a year. In summer, gentle trails lead you across fields where wildflowers sway, or to Schwarze, the Black Lake, where the Matterhorn leans so close it feels almost within reach. It is a place of stillness where you can sit by a window with a cup of tea, watching clouds gather around the mountain's face and feel that rare sense of being small yet at peace. Two, Grindelwald. Grindelwald doesn't introduce itself politely. It hits you with a 1,800-meter wall of limestone that has humbled seasoned climbers since 1858. This is where alpinists come to test their mortality against the murder wall, Europe's most notorious climbing face. But what the mountaineering legends won't tell you, Grindelwald's real magic happens at ground level. A quiet village of wooden chalets and green pastures, it rests beneath the shadow of the mighty Eiger, whose north face rises like a wall of stone, daunting yet endlessly captivating. While tourists crane their necks at the Eiger locals, sip morning coffee on terraces, where the view includes three iconic peaks, Eiger Monch and Jungfrau, like a perfectly arranged alpine postcard. In summer, trails wind past wildflowers and mirror-like lakes. On still days, you can take the cable car to First, where a cliffside walkway leads you into the clouds themselves, the valley unfolding below like a painted scene. The First Flyer zip line transforms the same landscape into an 800-meter adrenaline rush at 84 km/h. In winter, Grindelwald transforms into a snowy haven, where skiers glide down slopes framed by some of the Alps' most legendary peaks. But unlike crowded alpine resorts, Grindelwald maintains its authentic character. Wooden chalets still house families whose great-grandfathers guided the first Eiger attempts. What makes Grindelwald unforgettable is not only its scenery, but the way it makes you feel small before the grandeur of nature, yet deeply connected to its timeless rhythm. It is a place to pause, to breathe, and to remember that beauty is sometimes best when it surrounds us quietly. Three, Zurich. Zurich is often called the heart of Switzerland, not only because it is the largest city, but because it holds a rhythm that feels both timeless and modern. Resting along the shores of Lake Zurich with the Limmat River flowing gently through its center, the city seems to breathe with the calm of water and the energy of life. Step off Bahnhofstrasse, where Patek Philippe watches cost more than most homes, and suddenly you're wandering cobblestones that Roman legions once marched. The city doesn't apologize for its contradictions. Narrow cobblestone streets lead past medieval buildings where churches like the Grossmünster rise with quiet dignity, their towers offering views across the city and the lake beyond. Inside, the Fraumünster stained glass windows glow with color like fragments of light captured in stone. The Grossmünster's twin towers have watched over this place since the 12th century, their Romanesque bulk refusing to bow to the sleek glass monuments rising around them. Climb those 187 steps and the panorama reveals Zurich's secret. It's built like an amphitheater, with Lake Zurich as the stage and the Alps as the dramatic backdrop. Yet Zurich is not only history. It is also a place of art and imagination. More than 100 galleries and 50 museums invite you to wander slowly, letting culture surround you like a soft echo of Switzerland's soul. And when the day is done, Zurich reveals a different side, cafes and boulevards glowing by the water, where you can linger with a warm drink or simply sit at the lake's edge as the Alps fade into twilight. Zurich is a city of contrasts, but also of harmony. Here, old and new live side by side, reminding us that beauty exists not only in the mountains, but also in the way a city can hold centuries of memory and still feel alive today. 4. Bern. Bern, the capital of Switzerland, is a city that wears its history with quiet grace. Resting on the curve of the Aar River, it feels less like a bustling capital and more like a storybook town where time slows down. This isn't Zurich's banking towers or Geneva's diplomatic polish. Bern moves to the lazy curve of the Aar River, where medieval sandstone buildings lean into each other like old friends sharing gossip. Its medieval old town, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is lined with long arcades that stretch for kilometers, sheltered walkways that invite you to wander at your own pace, whether the sun is shining or rain is falling softly. Beneath these arches, cafes, antique shops, and galleries whisper of centuries gone by. At the heart of Bern stands the Zitglocke, a 13th century clock tower whose golden face. The Zitglocke doesn't just tell time, it performs it. Every hour, this astronomical marvel awakens with a mechanical ballet that draws crowds. Knights joust, roosters crow, and bears dance, while Bern's heartbeat counts down another hour of unhurried living. It's clockwork theater that would make Disney jealous. But Bern's real magic hides in plain sight, 6 kilometers of covered arcades that transform shopping into an intimate affair. Rain or shine, you'll wander through Europe's longest network of covered walkways, ducking into wine cellars that predate Columbus, and bookshops where Einstein once browsed for inspiration during his patent office days. Bern is a place where history, nature, and daily life intertwine. Here you can stroll cobbled streets, pause by the river, or sit quietly in a cafe and feel both the strength of Switzerland's past and the gentle rhythm of its present. Five. Lauterbrunnen. Lauterbrunnen doesn't reveal itself gradually. It hits you like a revelation the moment you round that final mountain curve. The valley's impossibly beautiful scenery, with its sheer cliffs and cascading waterfalls so breathtaking that J.R.R. Tolkien imagined it as the setting for Rivendell in his iconic books, The Lord of the Rings. 72 waterfalls thread through this glacial amphitheater like silver ribbons thrown from heaven. Staubbach Falls commands attention first, a 297-meter plunge that begins as a torrent and transforms into ethereal mist before kissing the valley floor. Walk the valley floor at dawn when cowbells create a natural symphony, and morning fog clings to meadows dotted with wooden chalets unchanged since the 1800s. This is Switzerland's soul distilled, not the flashy tourist version, but the living, breathing alpine culture where farmers still move cattle by ancient routes. In the small village of Lucerne, time slows down along the peaceful shores of its lake. The village serves as your gateway to the Jungfrau region's crown jewels. Cable cars whisk you to Schilthorn, where James Bond once skied, and 360-degree views stretch across the Eiger Monch and Jungfrau Triumvirate. Yet some of Lauterbrunnen's most precious moments happen quietly, sharing Rusty at a family inn, or discovering Trimmelbach Falls, Europe's only underground glacier waterfalls where 20,000 liters per second thunder through mountain hollows. Further into the Bernese Alps lies the Great Aletsch Glacier, a river of ice more than 20 kilometers long. The dark ridges of stone carved into the ice tell a story that is thousands of years old, yet the silence around it feels like it was written just for you in that moment. This valley doesn't just inspire fantasy literature, it creates for believers in magic. Six, Lucerne. Lucerne is a gem in the heart of Switzerland. Resting along the shores of Lake Lucerne, with snow-capped peaks rising in the distance, the place is the true image of Switzerland that lives in our imagination. Lucerne reveals itself like layers of Swiss chocolate, each discovery richer than the last. The city's most beloved landmark is the Chapel Bridge, a covered wooden bridge first built in 1333. This walkway houses 111 painted panels beneath its weathered roof, a Renaissance comic strip telling tales of plague war and local saints. The octagonal water tower pierces the lake's surface, once serving as a prison torture chamber and treasury. Walking here at dusk, with lanterns glowing on the lake, feels like stepping into another century. Lucerne's Old Town is a tapestry of cobbled streets and painted facades, where quiet squares invite you to pause with a cup of hot chocolate or a taste of local cheese. Nearby, the Lion Monument strikes a different chord entirely. Carved into living sandstone, this dying lion honors Swiss guards massacred during the French Revolution. Mark Twain called it the saddest and most moving piece of stone in the world, 20 feet of grief frozen forever in Lucerne's heart. Food here transcends sustenance. Luzerner Schugli Pastete puff pastry, embracing veal mushrooms and cream. Paired with local Chasselas wine, each bite carries alpine meadows sweetness and centuries of culinary tradition. And beyond the city, the mountains call. From Lucerne, you can journey up to Mount Rigi or Mount Pilatus, where panoramic views reveal lakes and valleys unfolding like a living map. Unlike Venice's crowded canals or Geneva's urban shores, Lake Lucerne offers 114 square kilometers of pristine navigation past hidden valleys where Alphonse echo and Wilhelm Tell's crossbow still seems to quiver in collective memory. Seven, Gruyères. Gruyères feels like stepping into a medieval painting, a walled village crowned by its castle with the soft backdrop of the Pre-Alps rising beyond. Here, cobbled streets wind slowly between stone houses, and time itself seems to have paused to let you wander. At the heart of the village stands Château de Gruyères, a 13th century fortress whose halls whisper stories of knights and nobility. From its gardens, the views stretch across green hills that roll gently into the distance, a scene so peaceful it feels almost unreal. Within its walls, frescoes tell tales of medieval lords, while panoramic windows frame the Prayhouse like living postcards. Each room reveals layers: Burgundian opulence, Savoyard elegance, and that indefinable Swiss precision that makes everything eternally preserved. After exploring medieval ramparts, you'll stumble into the museum dedicated to Swiss artist H.R. Giger, whose surreal visions stand in striking contrast to the village's medieval charm. The real magic happens at Maison du Gruyère, where master cheesemakers transform milk into liquid gold using techniques unchanged since 1115. Watch copper cauldrons bubble, while that nutty, almost fruity aroma fills the air, then taste cheese aged in caves that predate America's discovery. End your day at La Maison Caillère, where Nestlé's chocolate wizardry meets Swiss precision. After sampling their liquid silk creations, you'll understand why Swiss chocolate is like an edible poem. Gruyères is not a place you rush through. It invites you to stroll slowly, to savor its flavors, and to let its quiet beauty linger long after you've gone. Eight. Jungfraujoch. The train bites into the mountain like a steel serpent, carrying you higher than eagles. At 454 meters above sea level, Jungfraujoch isn't just Europe's highest railway station, it's where the Earth meets eternity. They call it the top of Europe. This isn't your gentle Swiss countryside ride. The Jungfraujoch Railway performs mechanical magic, boring through solid rock for over 7 kilometers, emerging into a realm where oxygen thins and perspectives shatter. The journey itself becomes a pilgrimage. Tunnels swallow you whole before spitting you out into blinding white infinity. Step off the train and the Aletsch Glacier unfolds below like a frozen river of time. 23 kilometers of ice that has been flowing for millennia, carrying secrets from when mammoths walked the valleys. Around you, the great guardians of the Alps, the Eiger, the Mönch, and the Jungfrau rise in silent majesty. Walking these frozen corridors, each step echoes with centuries of compressed snow and forgotten winters. Inside the ice palace, carved deep into the heart of the glacier, tunnels of blue crystal surround you, their frozen walls gleaming softly in the light. Above, the Sphinx Observatory offers a 360-degree panorama that stretches across borders. On clear days, you can see as far as Germany's Black Forest and the Vosges Mountains of France. To stand here is to touch the sky. The cold air on your face, the stillness of snow underfoot, and the silence of the high peaks all come together in one unforgettable moment, a memory that lingers long after you have descended back to the valley below. Nine. Appenzell. Appenzell is a village hand-painted, a place where every house seems to carry a story in its colorful frescoes. Nestled in the rolling hills of eastern Switzerland, it is the very essence of rural charm. Sentis Peak cuts through the Swiss sky like a blade forged by gods, its limestone walls rising 2,502 meters. Here, time slows down. Farmers still tend their cattle as they have for centuries, and the air is filled with the quiet pride of a community rooted in the land. Every April, something extraordinary happens in Landsgemeinde Square. Thousands gather in traditional dressmen carrying ceremonial swords, women in intricate headdresses for an open-air parliament that predates most countries. Here, citizens vote by raising their hands under the alpine sun, continuing a 700-year-old tradition. Appenzell is also a land of flavors. Its cheese, with its distinctively rich and spicy taste, tells of green pastures and generations of craft. In the dairies, you can watch the process unfold, then taste a slice of Switzerland itself, simple, honest, and unforgettable. Local distilleries craft Appenzeller Alpenbitter, a 42-herb liqueur so potent it's practically medicinal. And beyond the village, the mountains rise. Trails lead past meadows and farmhouses to high lookouts where clouds drift lazily across jagged peaks. The Ebenalp cable car lifts you into another realm entirely, where the wild Kirchli cave chapel has sheltered hermit monks for centuries. The Escher Cliff restaurant, perched impossibly against vertical rock, serves rusty while eagles circle below your feet. When evening mist rolls through these valleys, transforming the peaks into floating islands, you understand why this corner of Switzerland feels less like Europe and more like Middle-earth's secret annex. Geneva. Geneva rests quietly at the southern edge of its lake, where the Alps and Jura meet the water in a soft embrace. Though it is Switzerland's second largest city, Geneva carries itself with a gentleness, a place where international voices gather, yet the rhythm of life is slowed by the presence of the lake. The jet d'eau, rising over 140 meters into the sky, is Geneva's most familiar symbol. This aquatic skyscraper launches 500 liters of lake water skyward every second, creating a 140-meter-tall liquid monument visible from airplanes. What started as a simple pressure valve for a hydraulic plant became Geneva's most photographed celebrity. Watching its spray catch the sunlight feels like seeing time itself suspended for a moment, a reminder of how fragile and fleeting beauty can be. Walk through the old town's cobblestone arteries, where John Calvin once preached Reformation and chocolate makers still perfect recipes passed down through generations. The Gothic Cathedral of Saint-Pierre watches over market squares that buzz with conversations in a dozen languages, while the Patek Philippe Museum nearby whispers the intricate secrets of timepieces that cost more than most people's homes. Yet just beyond the shops and boulevards, nature takes center stage, the meeting of the Rhône and Arve rivers, each with its own color, or the vineyards of Lavaux, where rows of terraces slope gently toward the lake. Geneva is often called the city of peace, home to the United Nations and the Red Cross. But walking its lakeside paths, you may find another kind of peace, not the political kind, but a quiet inner stillness. Here you can negotiate world peace by day and sip wine, Lavaux vineyards by sunset, all while the Alps paint the horizon in different shades. This is where our visual journey through Switzerland ends, but the feeling lingers. From the snow-dusted peaks to the villages reflected in tranquil lakes, Switzerland has shown us a land that feels less like a destination and more like a work of art. If one of these Swiss wonders has left its mark on you, please like and share your thoughts in the comments. And if you wish to wander further, together, subscribe for more journeys where beauty and soul meet.